Imagine you're listening to the deepest parts of the Pacific Ocean, thousands of miles from land, no ships nearby, no storms, no known animals, just darkness. Then suddenly, a sound explodes through the water, not a roar, not a whale call, not anything scientists have ever heard before. It is so powerful that underwater listening stations thousands of miles apart detect it at almost the same time. Researchers replay the recording again and again. The signal is real, but its source is unknown, and that's when the theories begin. Could it be a giant undiscovered animal? A creature larger than any whale ever recorded? Something living in a part of the ocean humans have barely explored? Or was there another explanation hiding beneath the waves? For years, this mysterious sound became one of the greatest ocean mysteries ever recorded. It would earn a strange nickname, the Bloop. And what made the mystery even more unsettling was not just the sound itself. It was where it came from. The remote South Pacific, one of the most isolated places on Earth. A region so vast and unexplored that much of it remains a mystery even today. The deeper scientists investigated, the stranger the story became. Because the truth behind the Bloop would reveal something surprising. Not just about the ocean, but about how little we truly know about our own planet. Tonight we're diving into the story of the most terrifying sound ever recorded in the ocean. A mystery that sparked theories about sea monsters, hidden worlds, and creatures beyond imagination. But before we uncover what scientists eventually discovered, we need to travel back to the moment when this strange sound first appeared. Because what happened next turned a simple recording into a worldwide mystery. Part 1. The Discovery. The year was 1997. At the time, scientists were using a network of underwater microphones known as hydrophones. These devices had originally been developed for monitoring activity across vast stretches of ocean. Unlike microphones in the air, hydrophones listen beneath the surface, where sound travels much farther and faster through water. This allows researchers to detect events occurring thousands of miles away. Earthquakes, volcanic activity, ice movement, marine life, and occasionally things that are difficult to explain. One day, analysts reviewing data noticed something unusual. A powerful sound had been detected across multiple listening stations. The signal wasn't local. It wasn't coming from a nearby source. It had traveled across an enormous distance. That immediately caught attention. Most sounds lose strength as they travel. This one remained unusually strong. When researchers examined the recording, they discovered another strange detail. The sound increased rapidly in frequency over about a minute. It began low and deep, then climbed higher. The pattern didn't match familiar ocean noises. It wasn't behaving like known whale vocalizations. It didn't resemble earthquakes. It didn't match underwater volcanic activity either. Scientists gave the sound a nickname based on its unusual signature, Bloop. At first, the name sounded almost playful, but the mystery behind it was anything but, because nobody knew exactly what had created it. And when experts can't immediately explain something in one of the least explored environments on Earth, curiosity spreads quickly. Soon the recording began attracting attention far beyond scientific circles, and that's when speculation took over. Part 2. Theories of a hidden giant. The ocean covers more than 70% of Earth's surface, yet large portions remain unexplored. In many places, we know more about the surface of the moon than the deepest parts of our oceans. That fact alone gave people plenty of room to imagine possibilities. When details about the Bloop became public, theories spread rapidly. Some wondered whether it had been produced by a massive undiscovered species. After all, blue whales create some of the loudest biological sounds on Earth. If the Bloop was louder than known marine animals, what kind of creature would be capable of producing it? The idea captured imaginations worldwide. Books discussed it. Documentaries mentioned it. Internet forums exploded with speculation. Some people imagined gigantic squid lurking in the darkness. Others proposed prehistoric creatures that somehow survived extinction. A few theories became even more dramatic, suggesting sea monsters hidden in unexplored trenches. While these ideas were fascinating, scientists remained cautious. Extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence, and so far there was no evidence of a giant unknown animal connected to the sound. Still, researchers couldn't ignore one important fact. The source remained unidentified, and whenever there is a mystery, human imagination tends to fill in the blanks. The deeper the ocean, the bigger those imagined possibilities become. But while the public focused on giant creatures, scientists were following a very different path. Instead of asking what monster might have made the sound, they asked a more important question. What physical process could produce a signal like this? The answer would require years of investigation. Part 3. Why the ocean hides so many mysteries. To understand why the Bloop remained unexplained for so long, we first need to understand the environment where it occurred. The deep ocean is one of the most extreme places on Earth. Sunlight disappears quickly beneath the surface, temperatures drop, pressure increases dramatically, and vast regions remain incredibly difficult to explore. Even with modern technology, mapping and studying the deep ocean is expensive and challenging. Many areas have never been directly observed by humans. This creates a perfect environment for mysteries. Scientists routinely discover new species in the ocean, creatures with transparent bodies, animals that generate their own light, life forms capable of surviving conditions once thought impossible. Every discovery reminds us that the ocean still contains countless secrets. The region linked to the Bloop was particularly remote, far from major shipping routes, far from populated coastlines, and surrounded by enormous stretches of open water. If something unusual happened there, confirming its source would not be easy. Researchers had only the sound itself. No photographs, no video footage, no direct observation. Just an acoustic signature moving through thousands of miles of ocean. For years, the mystery persisted. Theories continued to grow. Some became increasingly sensational, yet scientists kept gathering data, comparing recordings, studying patterns, looking for similar sounds elsewhere in the world. Slowly, a new possibility began to emerge. And if it was correct, the truth behind the Bloop would be every bit as fascinating as the monster theories. Because the real source wasn't hiding in the darkness of the deep ocean, it was hiding in plain sight. And the discovery would completely change how scientists viewed one of the most famous sounds ever recorded beneath the waves. Part 4. The Investigation. For years, the Bloop remained one of the ocean's greatest mysteries. Scientists knew the sound was real. They knew where it had roughly originated. But knowing a sound exists and knowing what created it are two very different things. Researchers began comparing the Bloop to every known source of underwater noise. First, they examined marine animals. Whales were an obvious candidate. Many whale species produce sounds that travel incredible distances through the ocean. Some calls can be detected hundreds or even thousands of miles away. But there was a problem. The Bloop didn't behave like whale vocalizations. Its frequency pattern was unusual. Its intensity was unusual, and no known species matched the acoustic signature. Next came geological explanations. Could it have been an underwater earthquake? The ocean floor is constantly shifting. Massive tectonic plates move slowly beneath the surface, occasionally releasing enormous amounts of energy. Yet the Bloop didn't match typical seismic recordings. Scientists also investigated volcanic activity. Beneath the oceans lie thousands of underwater volcanoes, many of which remain poorly studied. Volcanic eruptions can generate powerful acoustic signals, but once again, the evidence wasn't a perfect fit. The mystery continued. As years passed, technology improved. Researchers gained access to better data, better monitoring systems, and more examples of unusual ocean sounds. Patterns began to emerge. Scientists noticed that some recordings from polar regions shared characteristics with the Bloop. The similarities weren't exact, but they were intriguing. Something important was beginning to take shape. The answer might not be an animal at all. It might be something far larger, something capable of generating enormous amounts of energy, something most people would never suspect. And as researchers continued comparing recordings from around the world, a surprising possibility moved to the center of the investigation. The source of the mystery might not be alive. Part 5. The Shocking Twist. Eventually, scientists reached a conclusion that surprised many people. The most likely source of the Bloop wasn't a sea monster. It wasn't an undiscovered giant animal. It wasn't evidence of a hidden civilization beneath the waves. Instead, researchers found that the sound closely matched a phenomenon known as an ice quake. An ice quake occurs when massive sections of ice crack, fracture, or shift. Imagine an iceberg larger than a city. Now imagine that enormous mass suddenly breaking apart. The energy released can be extraordinary. When it happens in remote polar regions, the resulting sound can travel vast distances through the ocean. Researchers discovered that similar acoustic signatures were being recorded near Antarctica. The more comparisons they made, the more convincing the evidence became. The Bloop appeared to be consistent with the sound of large ice movements occurring far from human observation. At first glance, this explanation may seem less exciting than a giant sea creature, but in reality, it is no less incredible. Think about it. A single natural event involving ice was powerful enough to be detected thousands of miles away across one of the largest oceans on Earth. That is a reminder of how immense and powerful our planet truly is. Yet even after this explanation gained acceptance, some people continued to wonder, could there still be unknown creatures in the deep ocean? The answer to that question is fascinating, because while the Bloop was likely not a sea monster, the ocean remains full of mysteries that scientists are still trying to understand. And that leads to an even bigger story. Part 6. The ocean's undiscovered world. One reason the Bloop captured so much attention is that it touched on a very real fact. The ocean is still largely unexplored. Every year, researchers discover species that were previously unknown to science. Some live in total darkness. Some survive under crushing pressure. Some possess abilities that seem almost impossible. There are fish that generate light, creatures that can regenerate damaged body parts, animals that survive near underwater volcanic vents where temperatures can reach extreme levels. The deep ocean challenges many assumptions about life. Scientists estimate that countless marine species may still be undiscovered. That doesn't mean giant monsters are hiding beneath the waves, but it does mean there is still much we don't know. Modern exploration vehicles continue to reveal remarkable findings. Hidden ecosystems, ancient geological formations, unexpected behaviors among marine animals. Each expedition uncovers something new, and that is perhaps what made the Bloop so compelling. For a brief moment, it reminded the world that mysteries still exist. Not supernatural mysteries, not necessarily monster stories, but genuine scientific mysteries waiting to be solved. The ocean remains one of Earth's final frontiers, and every discovery often leads to even more questions. Questions that inspire future research, future expeditions, and future discoveries. Because curiosity has always been one of humanity's greatest strengths. Nowhere is that curiosity more powerful than when we stare into the unknown. In the end, the story of the Bloop is not really about a sound. It's about exploration, it's about mystery, and it's about our relationship with a world we are still learning to understand. When scientists first detected that strange signal in 1997, nobody knew what had caused it. The recording sparked theories, debates, and endless curiosity. For years, people imagined enormous creatures lurking in the darkness. Others searched for explanations hidden beneath thousands of feet of water. Eventually, evidence pointed toward a natural source. A powerful ice quake occurring in one of the most remote regions of our planet. The mystery may have been solved, but the lesson remains. Earth is still full of surprises.
The ocean covers most of our world, yet much of it remains unexplored.
Countless species, landscapes, and natural phenomena are waiting to be discovered. Some may completely change what we know about life on Earth. Others may reveal secrets hidden for millions of years. And somewhere right now, beneath the waves, another unexplained sound may already be echoing through the darkness, waiting for someone to hear it, waiting for someone to investigate it, waiting to become the next great mystery. Because despite all our technology, maps, and knowledge, the truth is simple. The ocean still holds stories we haven't heard yet. And perhaps that's the most fascinating mystery of all. If you enjoyed this journey into one of the ocean's most famous mysteries, subscribe to Hidden Earth and join us as we continue exploring the strange, surprising, and unexplained wonders hidden across our planet.